Yo, we got some new Gem Knight support. I don't know if these cards are good or not. I haven't read them yet, but apparently they come out in the OCG April 23rd, 2022 this year. And so I'm going to read them to y'all real quick, see if we think they're any good. And that's about it. So let me know what you think as we go through them. The first one, it says Power of the Elements. I guess that's the name of the set it's going to come out in. First one is a level 4 Earth, 15 attack, 15 defense, Gem Knight Quartz. It's also a fairy. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. If your opponent controls a monster, you can discard this card, set one fusion continuous spell from your deck. Also, you cannot special from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Gem Knights. So, the first part already seems insane. Set a fusion continuous spell. That sets Brilliant Fusion. I don't know what else that sets, to be honest, but that's worth looking into. Fusion continuous spells. So I'm going to have to check those out. But the second part, if this card is used as material for a fusion and sent to the graveyard or banished, add a Gem Knight from your graveyard to your hand. So it's good that the first effect locks you to Gem Knights, because if not, Brilliant Fusion would just be like at 4 now instead of at 1. And that would be pretty sick, but also not that sick at the same time. And aside from that, my main fear seeing these guys getting new support is that it could make the Gem Knight FTK more consistent, and I think it does it exclusively with Gem Knights. So I don't think that lock is gonna hurt you. And my biggest hype for hearing there's new Gem Knights is also Gem Knight FTK, because while I don't want to play against it, I would love to play it. The next card that they have is Brilliant Rose, a level 2 light rock effect monster, 500 attack and defense. This card is always treated as a Gem Knight card. So I'm assuming that means you could still special it under the restrictions of being locked to Gem Knights. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. So the effect you can use once per turn is you can discard one Gem Knight or Melodious card, special this card from your hand. So that's kind of cool. It's cool that it matches with Melodious, because I remember that being a thing in the past for some other cards like this that they printed, that they randomly synergize with both. And then once per turn, you can send a Gem Knight or Melodious monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. This card's name, type, and attribute become the sent monster's original name, type, and attribute. I wish I knew the Gem Knight cards better to know what this meant for the deck. I'm sure just having a discard to special extender is pretty decent, because I think the Link 2 is pretty broken. I don't remember what he does exactly, but I remember it being good. Is it a Link 2? Might be a Link 3. I remember the Gem Knight Link being good. And so having a way to extend to get into that might be powerful. And I don't know how relevant the dumping is. If you guys play this archetype, let me know how relevant this card is. It seems like there's a lot of potential with this one. Both of these cards so far seem like they have a lot of potential. The third card is a fusion monster. Earth Fairy Fusion, 2700 attack, 24 defense, level 8. It takes a Gem Knight and a fairy to make. Fairy's cool because with Brilliant Fusion you could send obviously whatever fairies are in the archetype, but you could also send Snow that we just got back. And Snow's kind of OP, I heard. So it's kind of nice that this could send that. And I don't know what other fairies would be relevant outside of the Gem Knight archetype though. The first time a Gem Knight monster you control be destroyed by card effect during each opponent's turn, it is not destroyed. That seems fine. The fact that it's monsters with the parentheses around it is cool, because if they Regeki your board, no one's actually playing Regeki, but Lightning Storm and stuff like that, then your monsters won't die. And then when your opponent activates a monster effect during your turn, you can banish a Gem Knight card from your graveyard, then target a face-up card your opponent controls and destroy it. I don't think I like the effect of this card that much, because it's a quick effect, but it's only during your turn, and it has to destroy a card they control. So this, during your turn 1 is not helping you at all. I guess, on turn 3 it could be cool, or if you're going second, your first turn, it could be cool. But I don't really see this card facilitating any combos. The first, half of this kind of scared me, where it says when your opponent activates a monster effect during your turn, quick effect. When I saw that, my first thought is, this is going to negate the monster they activate. And I was thinking that this is going to let Gem Knight FTK play through hand traps. Thank God it didn't say that. That might be a little too good. And so I don't personally understand how this card's going to be good, but I'm sure someone in the comments is going to make me look like a fool saying that. So let's get on to the last one. Scatter Fusion, continuous spell. So this can be set off our boy Gem Knight Quartz. This does set, right? Yeah, it sets it. So this could be set off our boy Quartz. If your opponent controls a monster, you can fusion summon a non-rock Gem Knight fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your deck as material. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except Gem Knight monsters. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. And so, this is like a pseudo Brilliant Fusion, except it can't summon rocks. I believe there's a lot of non-rock Gem Knights though, so I'm sure there's a couple ones that are very good to summon off this. And honestly, I feel like after I hear back from you guys, I would love to do another like video on these and just kind of deep dive. This is kind of like my first reaction. It would be nice to take a real good look at these cards after I get some feedback and told what cards synergize well with them. But like just off the top of my head, I know there's a few, like the one we used to use with Brilliant Fusion, the one that gives you an additional normal. I believe that's a fairy. The new guy's a fairy. And so there's going to be some good targets to send with this. This card, like I said, it's similar to Brilliant Fusion. It lets you use from deck, but only if your opponent controls a monster. And it's also continuous like Brilliant Fusion. So it could be MST, Cosmic Cyclone, stuff like that to stop it. But I also think you can Ghost Ogre this card. I don't know if like this is just a translation. Maybe the wording will be different. But based on this wording, I believe you can Ghost Ogre it, which is like a very, very played card right now. So that's kind of annoying. And the fact that it locks you is pretty good because like we saw Brilliant Fusion. If this card didn't lock you to Gem Knights, this was just going to be a staple on a bunch of decks again. So I'm glad that it's not. I'm glad that this all like, these are all very, not all, but at least the three of them. I don't know about the Fusion monster, but these other three cards all seem very good. And I feel like they'll help the archetype a lot, but they don't do anything for a non-Gem Knight deck. And I like that a lot because I don't want to see Gem Knight just get their cards hit again because they don't work well or because they work too well with other decks. And last like thought, Scatter Fusion, it kind of sucks that your opponent has to have a monster because you're not using this on your first turn unless you get nibbed. And so this doesn't feel like a card I'm going to want to main a lot of copies of. It might be at least a one of because it's searchable off this. But I don't know how many I want to play since I have to only get it going second or if I get nibbed. But these cards honestly seem really cool. I'm kind of excited to see what they do. And if you guys have ideas for them, let me know in the comments. If you think this makes the FTK more consistent and you want to like help me figure that out, I would love to figure that out and be the first to do a video on it. So hit me up for that. And thank you guys for watching.